Hey guys, so I decided to make a short video on whether you should still buy the iPhone 12 Pro Max 2 months later or not. 2 months isn't a long time, but it's enough to evaluate basically everything you need to know about this phone. Now me personally, I haven't used it for 2 months, but it's been out that long, more or less. And I've been using it for a good little while, and honestly I really like it. And the base version of the 12 Pro Max, which is 128 gigs, which is what I have right here, only costs $1,100. Maybe a bit more expensive in other countries like mine, for example. But overall, you are getting great value for money, in my opinion. Like, maybe not the best value, but you're getting a really premium experience, especially with the design. Like the matte glass back and the stainless steel sides. And now that they're squared off, it feels more premium than ever. Sure, it doesn't have 60 Hz, but it feels just as smooth as any other iPhone, maybe even smoother because of course this is a brand new device. The only people I wouldn't recommend this phone is for people who have the 11 Pro Max, because the phones are very similar. So unless you absolutely need that 5G and that extra 0.2 inches of display size, then I would stick with your 11 Pro Max. The overall experience is very similar to every single iPhone since the iPhone 10. So if you've used iPhones in the past, especially like at the iPhone 10, especially iPhones as early as the iPhone 10, then this is going to feel very similar in terms of experience. But what this iPhone does have that other iPhones don't, except for the 11 Pro Max, is great battery life. I mean, this one has a 38,000 something milliamp hour battery, which is slightly smaller than the iPhone 11 Pro Max's 3,900 something milliamp hour battery. But because this is a smaller 5nm chip, the battery life is even better, if not the same. So the battery life on this iPhone is amazing. I always end the day between 50 or 60%. Yesterday I got 4.36 hours of screen on time with like 62% left. So amazing battery life. Better than my Note 20 Ultra and better than almost every single other Android out there, just because iOS is so optimized. And the cameras, while they may not be the most exciting, they are great. Maybe even better than my Note 20 Ultra. Speaking of that phone, like I was planning to switch to that phone and I did, but that was right around the time One UI 3.0 came out. So I was like, oh wow, this is exciting. So I downloaded it and I'm disappointed the software is so buggy right now and it's slower. So I'm gonna use the iPhone until Samsung fixes their One UI 3.0 update, because right now it is not really pleasant to use. So being a tech enthusiast, someone who likes weird and quirky phones, this phone isn't that. But what it is, it's an experience. It's a premium experience, and not to mention I've been using it with my Apple Watch 6 series, which is the first time I've ever used an Apple Watch, because everyone's been telling me, oh, you gotta use it with the Apple Watch, it's a whole different experience. And well, I don't agree it's that much of an experience. This is a really great smartwatch. Like, especially I love the haptics when you get a message and it taps on your wrist really hard. It almost feels like an actual human being is like tapping my wrist every time I get a notification. So I really like this watch. Works great with the iPhone. So what about the notch? Well, you guys are gonna think I'm kind of corny, but I like the notch. I think it looks cool. The only time I don't like it is when I'm trying to watch a video. I mean, it's not really a big deal because I usually watch videos like this I don't even zoom in just because of that notch. But as you can see, it doesn't always bother you. It depends like what kind of videos you're watching. So all down to personal preference. All I can tell you right now is the notch is really not a big deal, even though it is kind of outdated, as many people might say. So like, this phone ticks all the boxes. Great display, great battery life, great design, great performance, great sound. Even though we don't have a headphone jack, we have great dual speakers. Not the best I heard, but they are pretty good. All this for $1,099. And before you think I'm sponsored by Apple, get real. They're a $1 trillion company. What do you think they're gonna do with a small YouTuber like me? I just think this is a great phone overall. Ever since my iPhone XS Max, like, I really liked iOS. I switched to it as soon as they started making big phones with the XS. But overall, I think I prefer Android just because of that customization, and it just feels faster because you can change the animation speeds to be way faster, as I've showed in my comparison between the Samsung and the iPhone. So all down to personal preference. So yeah, I hope this video helped you out. If you want to buy this phone, then it is really not, you can't go wrong with it whatsoever. Unless you're like a hardcore Android fan and you're only used to Android, and I would stay away from this phone. But for open-minded people like myself, great smartphone. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.